You've been so busy looking at how far you still have to go that you forgot to turn around and see how far you have already traveled. And I need you to actually sit with that for a second, because most people reading this title nodded and kept scrolling. Do not be most people today. Growth is almost completely invisible while it is happening. You do not feel yourself changing. You do not wake up one morning and sense some dramatic shift in who you are. What happens instead is much quieter, much slower, and honestly much more impressive than any overnight transformation story you have ever been sold. Think back, not to last week, not to last month. Go further. Think about who you were 2 years ago, 3 years ago, maybe 5. Think about what used to wreck you that you barely flinch at now. Think about the conversations you could not have back then that you can have today. Think about the version of you who had no idea how to handle what you are handling right now with relative calm. That person was doing their absolute best, but that person is not you anymore, and that matters more than you realize. We live in a culture that is obsessed with destinations. Where are you going? What are you building? What is the goal? And that forward-facing pressure is not entirely bad, but it does something quietly damaging over time. It trains your eyes to only look ahead, which means every place you land just becomes a new starting line. You never actually stand in the middle of the track and acknowledge how much ground you have covered to even get there. That creates a persistent sense of being behind, a low-level but constant feeling that you are not enough yet, not there yet, not done yet. And you carry that weight into everything, into your work, into your relationships, into the way you talk to yourself at night when nobody else is listening. The destination always moves, so the feeling of falling short never leaves. But consider this, the person you are right now would have seemed remarkable to the person you were back then. The hard thing you did the other day, that earlier version of you would have collapsed under that weight. The conversation you had that felt uncomfortable but necessary, younger you would have stayed silent, smiled, and driven home feeling hollow. You did not do that. You do not do that anymore. That is growth, quiet, real, yours. The reason we struggle to see our own progress is partly because we are measuring against an imaginary ideal instead of against our actual past. You compare where you are to where you think you should be by now, and nothing ever measures up to a fantasy. But when you compare where you are to where you genuinely were, the picture changes entirely. And here is the part that might be the hardest to let in. Some of the hardest seasons you have lived through were not setbacks. They were construction. The periods where everything fell apart, where you lost something or someone, where you spent months just trying to find steady ground. Those did not take anything from you. They built something in you that no good season could have built. Depth, resilience, a kind of groundedness that people who have only ever known easy things simply do not have. You earned something in those hard years. Carry it like that. Now, none of this is a reason to stop reaching. Growth is not a reason to get comfortable and coast. Acknowledging how far you have come is not the same as deciding you have arrived. You probably have not arrived. Most people who are truly alive never fully arrive, and that is not a failure. That is the design. But moving forward with some awareness of your own history, some genuine respect for the distance you have already covered, that changes the quality of the journey entirely. You stop chasing from a place of desperation and start moving from a place of momentum. Those are not the same energy. One exhausts you, the other sustains you. So here is what I want to leave with you today. Not a challenge, just a request. Before you close this video and return to the relentless forward push of your regular day, take 60 seconds. Actually take them. Think of one thing you can do now that you could not do before. Think of one weight you no longer carry. Think of one fear you walked through instead of around. Let yourself acknowledge that without immediately qualifying it or minimizing it or rushing past it, you have done real work to become who you are. Most of it happened in private, with no applause, no recognition, no one watching, and you kept going anyway. That is not a small thing, that is actually the whole thing. Look at how far you have come, not to stop, not to settle, but to walk forward, knowing, really knowing, that you are someone who moves through hard things. You have the receipts, you have the proof, you are standing in it right now.